Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about my time in Thailand. I went to Thailand about a couple weeks ago now. I stayed for 3 weeks. So yeah, it was just some things I wish I would have known before I actually went to Thailand. So I came up with a list of things that I wish I would have known and decided to just share them with you all in case you plan on going to Thailand anytime soon, or just one day plan on going to Thailand. Let's jump right into it. So I made my list in priority. These are the 10 things that I found that I needed the most or needed to know about the most, and some things you wouldn't even know until you actually got there and experienced it. Okay, so my number one thing is SIM cards. In Thailand, they have these traveler SIM cards. The first thing, when you first get to Thailand, you get off the airplane, you go through customs, you walk past a lot of different booths. So you got these booths, kiosks, whatever you want to call them. But among those are the SIM card companies, which they have DTAC and AIS, which are the top two in Thailand. Me, I had DTAC, but later on I found out that AIS was the best one out of all of them. I never had issues with DTAC, so I can't imagine how AIS could be better than DTAC, but apparently it's a lot better. So you definitely want to get these SIM cards, because the first thing you realize when you get to Thailand is your phone doesn't work. So since your phone isn't working, you can't let anybody know hey, I made it safe. You can't let just anybody, you can't get a ride from the airport. You need your cell phone pretty much to work nowadays for everything, whether it's GPS, getting a ride, just general communication. Yeah, so SIM card is definitely number one on my list. The first thing you want to buy, and literally you just take your passport or ID to the booth, and it's very cheap. I think I paid 600 baht, which is around $18 American, and I got a 15-day SIM card for my cell phone, so instantly your phone works. I have an iPhone that took my micro SIM out, put theirs in, and I had a Thai number just that quick. Cell phone is number one. Well, SIM card is number one. The first thing that you want to have when you first get to Thailand. Next is the taxis at the airport. So I didn't know what to do when I got to the airport. I didn't know how to get a ride. I didn't know pretty much anything. I'm pretty much walking around looking okay, I'm here, I'm done with customs, I picked up my luggage, what's the next step? Well, of course it was to get to the hotel room, but I'm how? Where do I go? So I flew into Bangkok, BKK, and every airport I went to in Thailand actually was the same way, where you had to go and grab a ticket with a number on it. So you go punch the machine, you get a ticket with a number on it, same as you would get a ticket at the DMV or at the driver's license place or somewhere. And with this ticket, you're basically in line to get a taxi. Basically, you want to know hey, you need to go pull a ticket in order to get a ride. The next thing is the Ubers. So you want to get an Uber, Grab in Thailand. When I got to Thailand, Uber did not work at all on my phone. So it was a whole different app called Grab. Me, I wish I would have known this, because I could have downloaded Grab in America, basically at home, before I even went to Thailand, and not use my data on my SIM card. So you download this app called Grab. It's the exact same thing as Uber. Looks the same, pretty much functions the same, except it's just called Grab. It has a different name. But yeah, that'll save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of, I guess, not getting a scam. Me, when I was in Thailand, I would just go up to the taxi and ask them how much, how much is the ride. I realized by doing that, I was basically setting off a light bulb in their head, hey, you're a foreigner, they're gonna scam me, or they're gonna overcharge me. Let's not say scam, they're gonna overcharge me for this ride. And most of the time, they actually did overcharge me for my ride if I walked up to them and asked them, how much is it to get to here? So it's just like getting a taxi in America, where you would be you wouldn't get into a taxi in, let's say, in New York City, and be hey, how much? You would get in the taxi, and you would tell him where you was going. He would drop you off, and at the end, you would pay what the meter reflected. But in Thailand, I don't know, it was so different. I was like, hey, how much? Every single time I got in a taxi, and it would never run the meter. It would always just be like a negotiated price already. And most of the time I would come out paying for the ride like 2 or 3 times over. Basically with Grab, you get an honest price. You know how much you're paying up front, which is always a good thing because you know the price won't change. And yeah, you just literally book your ride. It's as simple as getting an Uber in America. When you're in Thailand, definitely download Grab because it's gonna save you some time. All right, so next is while you're at the airport, just go ahead and exchange your currency because in Thailand, if you have American money, I mean, it's pretty much like almost no good because it's too hard to negotiate and try and think of things. Think of how much something is, so you definitely want to exchange your currency. While you're in the airport walking past currency exchange booths, while you're there, just go ahead and exchange it. I ended up exchanging like a little bit of money at the airport, and then later on I had to go like right around Bangkok to find the actual currency exchange and exchange for more money. So yeah, I recommend just go ahead, get out the amount, or almost if you don't feel comfortable, and at the time I didn't feel comfortable getting out so much money at once, so I got out like partial, then I did another, but it was such a hassle. I was just like, I should have just got everything at once. Actually, what I would recommend is even before you get to Thailand, get you a travel credit card before you go, because that way most of them offer foreign exchange fees. They actually pay them, so they're free. But by having a travel credit card, most places in Bangkok accept like Visa, MasterCard, and they all have travel credit cards. So that way you won't have to spend as much cash. You can just put it on the card and you won't have to carry cash as well, because you don't want to walk around everywhere with a lot of cash. Next, so when I got to my hotel room in Thailand, I realized that the outlets actually weren't like the American outlets, which is the first time this ever happened to me. I've been out the country a couple times, but I've never been to a country that had different sockets, different outlets. And yeah, in Thailand, the outlets are completely different. So you have to, you would need like a outlet adapter to get it to work if you bring like certain American chargers or certain American, like me for instance, I cut my own hair. So I took like my clippers and basically just a lot of those different tools that go along with like hairdressing or hair cutting. And women, this could be the same for you as well if you have, I guess, a blow dryer or curling iron, whatever the case may be. But yeah, the outlets will not work. And if you force them into the outlet, they'll get power, but it will short circuit your entire whatever tool, whatever you're using, it'll short circuit it. Let's put it like that. And yeah, I went with two pairs of clippers, because that's all I really need. I put the first one in the wall and it made like a loud, my clippers made like a loud noise. Basically, you would not be able to cut your hair like. It sounded like when it slips out of alignment, that's exactly what my clipper sounded like. So I couldn't use those. I put my second pair in to see if that works. And I realized I heard like a poof noise and they never turned on again, ever. So it was like RIP to those clippers. But I realized later on after reading up on it, you can put like certain iPhone chargers could go in there, because now they're regulated for pretty much on an international scale, but a lot of other stuff isn't. So these are like American Apple chargers you can, and most laptop chargers. Okay, so yeah, I got like my Apple charger here, and with a little block, and then I got my laptop block. But what you want to look for is, if it says input on it, if it says input 100 to 240 volts or 50 to 60 hertz, then it's good on an international scale usually. So it'll work in Thailand. Even the Apple chargers, I mean, this is like original Apple, I don't know, a little block or whatever. But yeah, it worked for my iPad, but clippers was a no-go. Those were only rated for America, and yeah, the outlets definitely show that if the voltage isn't right, you cannot use it in Thailand. So I recommend getting a voltage converter for your clippers. You have to have a converter in order to get the wattage to work in Thailand. Or I recommend getting an adapter. Converter, which is for like clippers and stuff, which the voltage is not regulated for Thailand, and an adapter to actually stick into the wall to plug up your American accessories, whatever it is you're using. So, fifth thing on my list, the scams. You want to watch out for the scams in Thailand. I'll tell you a couple times that I got scammed, and well, not got scammed, but I was close, real close. But one dude did get the best of me, but luckily I didn't give up any money. But it was definitely a waste of my time. But this guy, he was a tuk-tuk driver. So one thing about Thailand, stay away from the tuk-tuks. It's cool to ride there once, but once you ride in a tuk-tuk, yeah, it's pretty much you don't need to ride in another tuk-tuk after that. I'm gonna tell you about like the tuk-tuk driver that like wasted my whole, he wasted a lot of my time, let's put it like that. So I was walking on the street actually, and I was looking for a ride, and this is before I even knew about Grab. So I didn't even know Grab was a thing. I just was like, dog, Uber don't work here. I didn't know what to do. But yeah, so this tuk-tuk driver approached me asking, do I need a ride? I'm like, yeah, I need to go to here, to this place. And he was like, okay, 50 baht. And I'm like, what? 50 baht? So 50 baht is even cheap to get a ride to this place. In Thailand, it's like cheap. Everything in Thailand is already cheap, but this was like super cheap. So I'm like, all right, 50 baht, cool. But then he was like, hey, I need to make one stop before I take you to your destination. And I was just like, okay, cool, where's the stop? How far out the way is it? He was like, no, it's around the corner, I need to make one stop. So I let him know, I said, okay, cool, let's go. He makes the stop, and he stops at like this tailored suit place, right? And he tells me, hey, you have to go in. He gets free gas. He has like a little gas card. He's like, hey, I get free gas if I drop people off here. You don't have to buy anything. You just go in, walk around, come out, and you go and get me another gas card. I'm like, okay, cool. I go out and walk in. Even though I was already skeptical and didn't want to do that much, I was like, I thought you was making a stop. I want to sit right here and chill. So I got out, walked inside. I come back out. Now I didn't buy anything. So I come back out, and the tuk-tuk driver's like up the street somewhere. And I basically walk down the street, catch up to him, and I say, hey, I didn't buy anything. Like, you ready to take me to my place? And he was like, he basically ignored me the entire time. And now he was like, his English isn't that good and stuff. So I'm like, what's going on here? I'm guessing the way the scam works is he drops you off at the tailor suit place, and then he's supposed to, I guess, once you go inside, leave you there and take off and go anywhere. Because I feel like the guy that owned the suit shop was probably paying all the tuk-tuks to bring customers there, bring people there. And which it turned out it was, because I met another guy outside. Him and the girl he was with both was like, yeah, I'm not messing with any more tuk-tuks. They wasted my time. Like, they brought me here. I'm guessing they just bring people here all day long. They never give you a ride to where you want to actually go. But I didn't give up any money, so I wasn't upset. What I was upset about is I had to walk like 10 blocks to find a taxi, because I didn't know how to call the taxi. I didn't know Grab existed, so I couldn't just order a ride. So I was pretty much in the middle of nowhere, like, now I gotta walk. And then it started to rain, so it was like a super bad day for me. And that's just one of the many scams. They even got another one where I went to the temple and the guy told me that the temple was closed. So if you go to the temple and he tell you it's closed, that's a guy trying to scam you. He's trying to get you to go somewhere else. And basically, anytime someone approaches you and try and get you to do something outside of whatever you were trying to do that day, he's trying to scam you. And it's like that everywhere in Thailand. If they try to get you to deviate from your plan, don't do it. But yeah, the guy at the temple, they got little scams where they say, hey, you can't wear shorts in, just come over here with us. We know we could take you somewhere else. Or they told me that it was closed, which it wasn't. The only time the temple's closed is if it's like 9 o'clock at night or something. Then it'll probably 9, 10 o'clock. Then it'll be closed for real. But and I actually got dropped off right outside the temple, so I could see the temple, but the wall around the temple is so long, like it's like a north wing, south wing. It's only certain ways to get inside the actual temple. But yeah, so that's all you gotta do is walk around to the main gate and go to the temple if a guy does take that. So yeah, that's just one thing. So you definitely want to avoid that because me, I hate being taken advantage of like that no matter where I am. Next thing, sixth thing would be, so while I was in Thailand, my plan was to travel to different cities throughout Thailand. So Phuket was definitely on my list, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, these other cities. And I realized that once you're there, once you get to Thailand, you basically take these domestic airlines, which is going to be like Air Asia or Thai Lion, to get to these other cities. So when I left Bangkok, I flew to Phuket. Okay, so I took all of my luggage because I wasn't going back to Bangkok anytime soon. So I had a bag that went under the plane, and I had a carry-on, and then I had a personal backpack. So your luggage that goes underneath the plane is actually only allotted 15 kilograms. Mine weighed about 25 kilograms, which is, I think, about 57 pounds on the American scale. So I got to the airport. I'm in line like an hour and 30 minutes early. The line is so long that it runs me down inside of an hour. So I get to the counter and I'm going to put my bag under the plane, and they tell me, hey, you're only allowed 15 kilograms. You have to pay for the extra weight. So for an extra 10 kilograms, the conversion came out to be $250 American. My whole plane ticket there only cost me $60. And the lady at the counter informed me that if you are inside an hour before takeoff, then they charge you a lot more money to put your luggage under the plane, to pay for the extra weight. So what I did was I just stepped to the side. I told her, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just buy another ticket for a whole separate flight that left later on that day, and then purchase the additional weight for like an extra 20 bucks or so. So you definitely don't want to wait until inside of an hour like me, because the rates are going to go up dramatically. If you purchase them ahead of time, then they're not bad at all. I mean, it was $20 for an additional $20 for the extra 10 kilograms of weight, giving me like a total of 25 kilograms I was allotted. You want to buy it ahead of time, basically, to save yourself a lot of money. Like the ticket that I bought and the luggage all still didn't come up to $100. So yeah, I wish I would have known that ahead of time, but there was no way for me to know unless I actually like experienced it, because they didn't advertise it on the website. But I did see it once I got to the front counter. They had like a paper with rates. That was definitely a big thing that I didn't know, that I wish I would have known. But I knew it from then on out, because from Phuket I traveled to Chiang Mai and I went back and bought the additional 10 kilograms. So okay, next, staying in Phuket. So if you're gonna stay in Phuket, I recommend staying in Patong. It's pretty much nowhere else. I mean, that's like where everything is in Phuket, like really close to Patong Beach. That's just where all the activity is. That's where pretty much everything is. If you go outside of there, you kind of almost like getting into the isolated part of I guess Phuket. But even when I went to the Big Buddha, which was 45 minutes away, I was like, oh man, I'm glad. I was gonna book a hotel near that way, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't, because it was so far from the city of Patong, which is where everything was. Basically, stay in Patong, because everything is in Patong. That's where you want to be. That's where the nightlife is. That's where the beach is. That's where a lot of the different food places are. So yeah, just stay in Patong. That's what I recommend, unless you're there to actually get away from everything. You can stay down near where the Big Buddha is. I forgot the name of that area, but it's really nice down there too. They even have like this, they have nice hikes over there. But me, I like Patong a lot. I can't complain at all. So, okay, so the next thing on my list is you want to learn the language a little bit. More so importantly, I would say the most important things that I wish I knew how to say while I was there was turn left, turn right, keep straight, do a U-turn, stuff like that. While I was there in Phuket, I always had the GPS running. While I had the GPS running, I would realize that I had a couple taxi drivers take me basically a long route, basically way longer than it should have been. So they're just trying to get, I guess, the more money. And I was telling them, I'm like, hey, I'm pointing to the GPS. I'm like, hey, no, go this way, go this way, go this way. And I wish the whole time I was there that I was able to learn, like, hey, turn right, turn left, keep straight, because that would have saved me so much more time. This one taxi driver actually just turned down the street and it was like full of cars, so we was sitting in traffic for like an additional like 30 minutes, and I'm like, really? And I had to pay him for it because he ran the meter. So yeah, I would say that's definitely important, because that's just one of those times where I guess unfortunately someone's trying to take advantage of you. Just, I mean, they see you're American, they know the exchange rate, which is like crazy in Thailand. So at that time, I'm like, I really have somewhere to be, and you're taking me the long way. I'm really trying to get back to my hotel. I've been out all day. I got rained on. I'm like frustrated now. At least you could take me, you know, to my destination the quickest route. So yeah, that's just a big thing. Learning the language, even you know, saying thank you probably was a big thing. Hello. Once I got grabbed, it didn't matter. I mean, they had a set rate, so they was gonna drop you off as quick as possible anyway, because they trying to get to the next ride. Okay, and the last thing on my list, you want to plan out your days and kind of just research places you want to go while you're actually in Thailand. Places you want to go, things you want to do. I know me, there was several temples that I wanted to visit while I was in Thailand. There were several hikes that I wanted to do. I know I wanted to go see the Big Buddha, which was like a monument in Phuket. I definitely wanted to see the reclining Buddha as well. So yeah, just research a lot of things. Even research down to if you're gonna go out in Bangkok, which nightlife in Bangkok is crazy, because you can go out any given night in Bangkok. They don't live for the weekend how we do in America. You could go out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically any given night of the week, and it'll be almost equivalent to like a Saturday. Yeah, even look up like the clubs that you want to go to at night, which clubs plays your genre of music, whatever. I mean, it's a whole like list of things that you would just plan everything. I would recommend from start to finish, like all the way up until maybe even a few eateries that you want to check out as well. So even plan out clubs, eateries, activities, places to go, things to see, temples, whatever the case may be. That'll help you out a lot with your time in Thailand and make it a lot better. So you don't want to wander around aimlessly in another country, you know, because I feel like sometimes that could be dangerous. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. There'll be more videos like this. I do have other videos in Thailand, so reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And until next time, see you later.